Can he talk his way out of it? Emmerdale spoilers follow. The following article contains discussion of sexual misconduct. Emmerdale's Cain Dingle panics next week as he's confronted over betraying his brother Caleb Milligan. Cain is forced to lie straight to Caleb's face when quizzed over the claims made by Anthony Fox earlier this month. Viewers know that Cain and Ruby slept together at the garage late last year. At the time, Cain was in turmoil as he feared that he was losing his wife Moira, who was undergoing surgery to remove a brain tumor. Ruby was also struggling at the time, feeling unsettled by the presence of her father Anthony in the village. The ITV soap has since revealed that Anthony sexually abused Ruby when she was a teenager. Cain and Ruby swore each other to secrecy last year and agreed that their hookup had been a terrible mistake. However, Anthony later became suspicious over their strange dynamic and forced Ruby to tell him what had happened. Last week, Caleb held Anthony at gunpoint after finding out the disturbing truth about his crimes. Anthony tried to regain the upper hand by telling Caleb that Cain and Ruby were having an affair. Caleb has kept quiet about Anthony's allegations in recent days, but he finally breaks his silence next week. When Caleb raises the issue, Cain immediately denies sleeping with Ruby and demands to know who is spreading false gossip. Caleb tells Cain that it came from Anthony, but he secretly feels awkward about the wider circumstances which surrounded the accusation. Can Cain keep his guilty secret as the pressure grows? And what will Caleb confess as the conversation with his brother continues? Beth Corrodingly, who plays Ruby, recently said, "I think it's good when stuff doesn't come out too quickly, because then it's just sitting there waiting and you know as soon as something's going okay, it could just come out. Then you've got all this potential destruction." She added, "Cain means so much to Caleb, it's quite hard for Ruby to break his heart, but this would be the way to do it. Not that that was her intention. She was trying to hurt herself." She and Moira were becoming friends too, and had this really kind of wonderful relationship of spikiness and difficulty, and then opening up to each other. So there's that to damage too. I hope it's really clear that there isn't any kind of romance going on between Cain and Ruby at all. They both regretted it from the second it was over. Can Cain talk his way out of it? A deep dive into the Emmerdale drama. The tangled web of relationships in Emmerdale is set to unravel further as Cain Dingle finds himself in a precarious position. His secret tryst with Ruby Fox, a moment of weakness during a period of emotional turmoil, threatens to shatter his bond with his brother Caleb Milligan. The fallout from this secret has the potential to devastate multiple lives in the village, leaving a trail of broken trust and simmering resentment. As Caleb confronts Cain with the accusations leveled by Anthony Fox, the village's resident villain, the question remains, can Cain talk his way out of this mess, or will the truth finally come crashing down around him? The context of this affair is crucial to understanding the complex dynamics at play. Cain, grappling with the fear of losing his wife Moira to a brain tumor, found solace in Ruby's company. Ruby, herself a victim of sexual abuse at the hands of her father Anthony, was vulnerable and seeking comfort. Their one-night stand, a regrettable lapse in judgment, was born out of shared emotional pain and a desperate search for connection. They both immediately recognized the gravity of their mistake and agreed to keep it hidden, understanding the potential for destruction it held. However, secrets rarely stay buried in soap operas, and this one is particularly explosive. Anthony, sensing the shift in the dynamic between Cain and Ruby, deduced the truth and revealed it to Caleb in a calculated attempt to deflect attention from his own heinous crimes. This revelation has placed Caleb in an agonizing position. Torn between his loyalty to his brother and the betrayal he feels, Caleb is now forced to confront Cain, seeking answers and struggling to reconcile the image of his brother with the man who slept with the woman he cares for. Cain's immediate denial is a predictable reaction. Cornered and desperate to protect his already fragile relationship with Caleb, he resorts to lies, dismissing the accusations as mere gossip. He attempts to deflect blame, questioning the source of the information and feigning outrage at the suggestion of an affair. This initial denial is a classic tactic, a knee-jerk reaction designed to buy time and assess the situation. However, it's a dangerous game, one that risks further damaging his credibility and deepening the sense of betrayal when the truth inevitably surfaces. Adds another layer of complexity to the situation. While he outwardly demands answers from Cain, he harbors his own doubts and reservations. He understands the complex circumstances surrounding the accusation, the shadow of Anthony's manipulative nature, and the emotional vulnerability of both Cain and Ruby. This understanding creates a sense of awkwardness, a reluctance to fully believe the accusations, even as the evidence mounts. Caleb's internal struggle will likely play a significant role in how the confrontation unfolds, influencing his questions and shaping his reactions to Cain's denials. The revelation of the affair has far-reaching consequences, impacting not only the relationships between Cain, Caleb, and Ruby, but also the dynamics within the wider community. Moira, already dealing with her own health struggles, faces another devastating blow. The betrayal by her husband, the man she trusts implicitly, will undoubtedly shatter her sense of security and leave her questioning the foundations of their marriage. The fallout will also affect Ruby, who, despite her initial regret, now faces the consequences of her actions. Her relationship with Moira, which had begun to blossom into a genuine friendship, is now irrevocably damaged. The trust between them is broken, leaving Ruby to grapple with the guilt and shame of her betrayal. Beth Crowingley, who plays Ruby, has hinted at the potential for destruction that this secret holds. She emphasizes the importance of the slow burn, the tension that builds as the secret simmers beneath the surface. The longer the truth remains hidden, the more devastating its eventual exposure will be. Corrodingly also highlights the impact on Caleb, emphasizing the deep bond he shares with Cain. The betrayal cuts deep, not only because of the affair itself, but also because it involves someone he considers family. This betrayal, according to Accordingly, is a particularly painful blow for Caleb. The actress also clarifies the nature of the relationship between Cain and Ruby, emphasizing that it was a one-time mistake, a moment of weakness rather than a blossoming romance. This clarification is crucial, as it reframes the narrative, moving it away from a simple tale of infidelity and highlighting the complex emotional factors that led to the affair. It underscores the vulnerability of both characters and the regret they share. As the confrontation unfolds, Cain's ability to talk his way out of this situation will depend on several factors. Firstly, his performance under pressure will be crucial. A convincing denial requires more than just words. It demands a display of genuine emotion, a believable portrayal of innocence. Any hesitation, any flicker of guilt, will be immediately seized upon by Caleb. Secondly, the strength of Caleb's belief in Cain's innocence will play a significant role. If Caleb is already predisposed to believe the accusations, Cain's denials will fall on deaf ears. Conversely, if Caleb trusts Cain implicitly, he may be more willing to accept his explanations. Finally, the presence of other witnesses or evidence could ultimately seal Cain's fate. If anyone else suspects the truth, or if any evidence of the affair surfaces, Cain's carefully constructed web of lies will crumble. The truth, as it always does, will eventually come to light, leaving Cain to face the consequences of his actions. The question remains, can Cain talk his way out of it? While he might be able to temporarily deceive Caleb, the truth has a way of surfacing in Emmerdale. The fallout from this affair promises to be explosive, leaving a trail of broken relationships and shattered trust in its wake. Whether Cain can salvage his relationship with Caleb, and indeed with Moira, remains to be seen. One thing is certain, the consequences of his actions will reverberate through the village for a long time to come.